This is the first video of many that I'm creating for students who are behind and need to catch up and really don't understand how to solve equations. Let's begin with what an equation is. Inside the word equation is the word, or what sounds like equa, which is like an equal sign. So an equation has an equal sign in it. There's my equal sign. And it has obviously two sides to your equal sign. You have your left side and your right side. And in that, let's just create a simple equation. Some number x, let's say some number x plus 3 equals 8, okay? So here's an equation, x plus 3 equals 8. And this equal sign means that they're perfectly balanced. The x plus 3 equals 8. Now, the goal to solving any equation is to get x by itself on one side of the equal sign. Okay, that's the first thing we need to know. There's a plus 3 right here. I want the x by itself. I don't want the plus 3, so I need to get rid of this plus 3. And the beauty of an equation is you can do whatever you want to an equation. As long as you do it to both sides, it'll maintain the equality. So in order to get rid of that plus 3, I'm going to subtract 3. But then, obviously, the left side becomes lighter because I just subtracted 3. And it doesn't become balanced or equal again until I subtract 3 from this side. Then it becomes balanced again, right? So by subtracting 3, we now know that x is by itself equals 8 take away 3 is 5. So the answer there is x equals 5. There's my answer. X is by itself. On this first video, we're going to be doing several of these simple one-step equations that involve adding and subtracting. So we have these 4 examples of equations that are one-step equations. And I mean, we could actually think about these logically and understand what the answer is, right? The variable represents a number, right? That's the goal to find out what that number is. So what number plus 4 equals 9? We already know that the answer is 5, right? X equals 5 because that's the only value that'll make it a true statement. 5 plus 4 equals 9. We already know the answer is 5. But I want you to practice getting rid of addition with the inverse operation, which is subtraction. Okay, so again, pretend that we have a perfectly balanced scale. The left side is equal to the right side. It's perfectly balanced. The goal of any equation is to get x by itself, to isolate x. Get x by itself on one side of the equal sign. As you can see, x is on the left side right here. I want to get it by itself. I don't want this plus 4. How do you get rid of something? You do the opposite. The opposite of plus 4 is minus 4. So if you subtract 4 on the left side, that will become off balance. It gets lighter on the left side if you subtract 4 until you subtract 4 from the right side, and that'll bring it back to being balanced, okay? So what do we have here? The 4's canceled out because 4 take away 4 is 0, and the x is what's left over. So you're going to bring the x down, bring the equal sign down, and I always recommend keep bringing the equal sign perfectly down when you show your work, right below. That way you don't get it confusing. You keep it clean. Right, so that equal sign comes down. The x is the only thing left on the left side, and that's your goal, to get x by itself. That's what you wanted. And on the right side, 9 take away 4 is 5. So the answer is x equals 5. Let's move on to this next one. This next one, same situation, but when you ask yourself, where's the x at? Is it on the left side or is it the right side? It's on the right side. It's not by itself. I want to get rid of this minus 2. How do I get rid of the minus 2? By doing the inverse operation of that minus 2, which is plus 2, right? How do you get rid of a minus 2 with the plus 2? Here we go, plus 2. Now, if you just added 2 to the right side of this equal sign, it's going to get off balance. It's really heavy on that side. You just added 2 to one side of it. It's no longer balanced. It becomes balanced once you add 2 to the left side as well, which it brings it back to being balanced, being back to equal, right? So what is 7 plus 2? 7 plus 2 is 9. Bring down the equal sign. And negative 2 plus 2, that's 0. So you could just scratch it out and you bring down the x. And there's your answer, 9 equals x. However, it looks nicer if you write it with the x on the left side and the 9 on the right side. So x equals 9 is the correct answer. And of course, you could always double check your answers by plugging them back in. 9 take away 2, yes, it does really equal 7. Moving on to this next example, we have x minus 5 equals 3. You want to get rid of the minus 5? Do the inverse operation of minus 5, which is plus 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. That eliminates. The equal sign comes straight down. On the right side, 3 plus 5 is 8. On the left side, all you have left is the x because that eliminated. So bring that x down right here. X equals 8 is your final answer. And of course, we knew that because what number, I mean, if you think about it, x means a number. What number minus 5 equals 3? Well, 8 minus 5 equals 3. That would be, if you solved it that way, that's using mental math. But I want you to show your work. I want to see that you're able to get rid of that minus 5 by applying the inverse operation, which is a plus 5. Again, the opposite of plus 4 is minus 4. The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. I want you to show that. The opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side. Same thing over here. I want to get x by itself. It's on the left side. So I want to get rid of this minus 9. Okay. How do you get rid of a minus 9? You do the opposite of a minus 9, which is a plus 9. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side, plus 9. What do we have left? The equal sign comes down. On the right side, negative 6 plus 9. You owe $6. You have $9. You're going to have $3 left over. Have $3. Now, if that confuses you, go ahead and use a calculator, right? At this point, use a calculator, right? You owe 6, you have 9, you're going to have 3 left over. This canceled out, so you could put a line through it. I mean, technically, it's equal to 0, right? 9 take away 9 is 0. You bring down the x, and that's your goal to get x by itself. X equals 3. That's your final answer.